welcome back everybody to the Gold and Silver Club Commodity Markets Outlook for the 18th to the 22nd of January 2016, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. Today we'll be analysing the latest developments in the commodity markets, discussing our outlook for the week ahead. We'll be covering during the session an overview of the commodity markets. We'll be reviewing our top trades of the week. We'll cover live market commentary, trading ideas for the week ahead, and of course we'll be answering any questions. So as always, any questions or comments, please do put those in the chat function and we will definitely go through those throughout today's session. First of all, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. We are an international commodities trading research and advisory group. We specialize in the precious metals, the energies and the agricultural markets. We are recognized as the leading go-to authority on commodities, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, the energies and the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN, NBC, Global Banking and Finance Review, and the Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Our team of experts has advised and taught technical analysis, fundamental research and portfolio management to more than 75,000 traders worldwide. So for more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do visit our website at www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. So that's just a bit of background on the Gold and Silver Club. We'll move over to the price of gold at the moment. Gold is currently trading at $1,090 an ounce and 50 cents. So we'll take a look at that on the charts and we'll go through the fundamentals very shortly as well. We've had some very lucrative moves over the last week. In fact, I'll go through our top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategy. So first of all, we had a lovely breakout last week on the USDA report and we caught a 170 point move, a nice day trade on that breakout just on Tuesday last week. So we had a lovely move there, 170 point return, very quick in and out of that trade. Natural gas gave us a sell signal last week. We remained short this market, so far up over 215 points as we've continued to break down, taking out major support. We had a nice gap on the open just yesterday as well, so we remain short on natural gas position. And oil, we've remained in our Brent crude oil trade as well, our latest position over 390 points in profit. We've continued to see oil break down over the course of this week and today as well, and some fundamental updates for you there as well, which I'll go through very shortly when we look at the technicals. So what we'll do, we'll go over to live technical analysis. As always, any questions or comments, do keep those coming in the chat and we can go over those during the course of the session. We'll start off here with gold. We'll be going through the metals, the energies and the agricultural markets, and we'll do a summary towards the end of the session as well, just going through the top trades that we're personally looking at for this week, and of course we'll be answering any questions as well. So first of all, if we have a look at the gold chart, few key points to note here right now. Gold is continuing to build a base. In fact, if we go out to the higher time frames, look at the weekly chart, you will see we've still got this basing formation. We had a higher low last week. As we've continued, you can see this rounding formation just below, and we're still developing at the upper end. We're still developing on this trend line, which we've got another bounce off the lower end of that trend line just last week, and we've got the potential here to continue to consolidate and potentially to break out higher as we progress this week. We're sat right in the middle of that trend line just at the moment, but we did get a retest of the lower end of that zone earlier on last week. Now, a few key points. Important here is that we've held on to the 50-day moving average. So you can see gold here, it's closed back above the 50 MA here on Friday. We had a nice little bounce at that level, nice spike actually above Wednesday's and Thursday's highs here, and you can see we've got a doji at the moment just on the daily chart, still holding on to quite a lot of those gains. What I really like to see here, if gold will continue basing out here and forming a potential breakout as we progress this year and this week, I'd like to see a break just above the highs here from last week, particularly the highs from Thursday and also on Friday. If we get a break above that zone, particularly if we close above that zone, we've really got a free run here up to the 100-day moving average, which is sitting about $1,107 per ounce. Around that zone will be a very critical area of resistance. We're starting to develop a bit of a pennant formation overhead here as well. So we get certainly some resistance if we do see a breakout to that zone. Then it will be important if gold is going to make a rally back up to the upper end of its trend channel in the higher time frames. we would need to really see a break and a close above the 100 MA and start to build up some momentum. So you've got this key zone above where we could see gold manage to get to on a good follow through here. Now that is the bullish stance at the moment for gold. However, if we were to see gold this week break below this key supportive zone, because we've produced a higher swing low on the daily chart, if we saw a break and close below that level, particularly below the 50 MA, we would start to see a potential revisit of the support zone at 1050 and potentially coming down to 1045, testing that key swing low from December. So far it's a bit neutral on gold. It's still holding on to some key levels. It's basing on the higher time frames. It has good potential to continue breaking out. We've got China GDP overnight, which will probably have quite a big impact on the metals overnight as well, but so far we're just consolidating. It is a bank holiday today in the USA for Martin Luther King Jr. So we could see that just continue to consolidate today on gold. Not too much movement so far during the London session, but it will be very important to see how gold reacts overnight. So we could really be in for some explosive moves tomorrow. So that is what we're looking for, just waiting really for the next move here on gold right now, but we're still consolidating at the moment and holding on to key levels. Silver is also the other precious metal you definitely want to just have on your radar as well. It's acting a little bit more like an industrial metal at the moment actually. It's not getting such a strong bid or safe haven bid over the last week or so. Now we've seen a lot of overhead rejection off the 50 MA, it just can't break through it. We've got key resistance at 1440, key support at 1361. Now whilst we remain in this zone, it's neutral to bearish. The overall price structure, we are getting lower swing highs here. We are also forming a bit of a pennant formation where we are getting into a decision time here for silver as well, but it still wouldn't need to do too much to in fact break and close above the 50 MA and start to build up some good resistance here and some good potential support for a breakout higher. So let me just show you that on the chart here. So this is the consolidation that we've got right now. Again, silver is likely to make a decision this week. So a break above resistance, that will bode well for silver, and particularly if it closes above 1442, we will start looking at some buying opportunities. However, if silver breaks and it closes below the 1360 zone here, we can start looking for sell short opportunities. So we're still stuck in this consolidation at the moment. We'll continue to monitor that very closely. Now platinum is definitely worth having a look at. Platinum, it's still sitting around key support, but today will be an important day. If platinum breaks and closes below the 1818 zone, that will open up the door here for lower prices and it will break through the swing lows of December. If you look at the weekly chart, we're also sitting around that very key zone. So platinum watching very closely today. If it does actually break and close below that supportive layer, that will give us a sell signal for platinum. We'll be looking at the potential here to sell into platinum and a break and a close below this supportive zone. So we're watching platinum very closely today. And again, if it breaks and closes back above this zone, then we'll continue to monitor it. But if it breaks and closes below that level, we've got an opportunity for a sell. So also watching platinum very closely here as well. The top news here, really, oil firms up after hitting 2003 lows on lifting of Iran sanctions. That was a major piece of news for the oil market over the weekend. Western sanctions against Iran lifted over the weekend. Iranian oil will add to market already suffering from oversupply. Lifting of sanctions unlocks 100 billion plus in Iranian funds. So this will be potentially a big mover on. It's already been quite a big mover actually overnight in the oil market, but in the weeks to come. Oil prices hit their lowest level since 2003 on Monday as the market braced for additional Iranian exports after the lifting of sanctions against the country over the weekend. So we'll have a look at the technicals there very shortly. We've certainly seen initially a sell-off in the oil market following on from a lifting of these sanctions. So what we'll do, we'll just go over and we'll have a look at crude oil next. If anybody has positions in oil at the moment, you want us to do a little bit of deeper analysis on that, let me know, just put that into the chat. Essentially, you can see here oil, this is WTI crude oil, has currently trading at $30.35 per barrel. We took out the key swing low here going back to 2008, and now we're at the levels not seen since 2003. So what you can see at the moment, I'm just representing this at the moment with some additional indicators just to show you what level oil would need to really get to in order to be oversold to the levels it was before it bounced in 2008 and 2014. And you'll see there is still scope for it to go lower. this huge sell-off that we had in 2008, we haven't really had such, there's still potential for oil to break down lower until it becomes too oversold. Right now, it's still not too oversold. There's still potential to break down here to $27, $25 per barrel on WTI crude oil. In fact, the next major supportive zone is sitting around $25 per barrel on light sweet crude oil. There is still the potential to break down to that level. In the short term, I do expect potentially a little bit of a bounce at the lower end of this trend line. We have come down right down to the lower end of this zone. Each rally on oil at the moment is being sold into, as I mentioned last week as well. Any rallies on oil, you don't want to try and be a hero here and pick a bottom of the oil market. The technicals and the fundamentals are all lining up for more downside. What I do want to do is see a retracement on oil, see a rally, and then sell into a rally at a better price here. So if we do see some relief rallies this week on oil, we'll be looking for opportunities to sell back into oil over the next couple of weeks if we get some good opportunities there. So WTI crude oil still looking bearish here, still looks like we could break down significantly lower, about another $5 move here potentially in the coming weeks before it gets too oversold. Now if we go over to Brent crude oil, similar situation here on Brent. Brent looking weaker than WTI, broke down. In fact, I think we broke down just shy of $28 a barrel today, 27.97 the low, currently sitting at 28.82. You can see here oil is getting a little bit closer to potential area where it is oversold on Brent, but there's still, you've still got some room here to break down lower. Again, looking to target around between 27 to 25 US dollars per barrel. Now we still have our core positions on, which we've had going back to November, so we've still got sell shorts in oil, which we haven't really had a clear signal to close out of those on the higher time frames. If you have a look at the higher time frames here, just show you, you can see where oil was continuing to break down on the weekly chart, especially. We're still taking out weekly lows, we're still continuing to break down. We haven't had any big capitulations or any big reasons really to exit out of this position. You can see since the OPEC meeting, oil, which was a fantastic trade opportunity, we've just continued to see oil break down week in and week out here. Hasn't really had any major reversals since OPEC, and we've continued to see fundamentals supporting lower prices here. So at the moment, we're still definitely bearish oil right now. On the daily chart, again, I'll just be a little bit careful in terms of where you're going to, if you are taking on short positions, you want to be, ultimately, I would look at just shorting into rallies, not shorting right at the weekly lows, the daily lows. You can see again on the daily chart, we're at the lower end of the trend line. Each time we come and retest the upper end of the trend line, that is where you get opportunities. And opportunities for selling can come off crude oil inventories, the Baker Hughes report, which comes out on Friday, the crude oil inventories on Wednesdays. So there are definitely opportunities during the week where we do see these retracements, and then we can get back in for a sell short at better prices here. But certainly I would look to the higher time frames. It looks like we could still be heading lower here for oil before we start to get a significant capitulation or a bounce around these levels. So do keep an eye on oil for rallies to be sold into over the coming week. Now we'll just move it over. We'll also have a look at natural gas. As I mentioned, natural gas, we did get a sell signal last week. We've gone short this from a break of key support here. We broke through the neckline, closed below that level last week, and also natural gas storage inventories helped that. We had a nice gapping down on the open. I'm looking for continued move here. If you look over at the weekly chart, again, you can see here where we've started to pick up momentum to the downside. That's a bearish engulfing candle on the weekly there, so we've got the potential. We've already broken down from last week's lows. I'm looking for a rotation lower here. You've got overhead resistance, which trend line here, which natural gas just could not get above, and then we've got the potential to come all the way back down here to the lower end of this zone. Again, here you've got nice overhead resistance with our indicators just showing that there's more downside available here. So natural gas at the moment, and also seasonality wise, typically it's weaker around this time. If you look at 5, 10, 15 year seasonality charts here, often you do get more weakness around this time of year as we go into February and March for natural gas. So we're looking to take advantage of technical seasonality and also fundamentals here. So it's a good little move that we've had so far. So staying short natural gas at the moment. The other trade opportunities I think you should definitely have on your radar this week. Number one is corn. Corn had a really nice move on the USDA report last week. Again, look at the higher time frames, really nice candle that we close in, weekly rejection candle just last week, nice hammer into the close. If you have a look at the daily chart, we came off this key level of support, which we again mentioned on last week's Commodities Corner, where we came right down to this support zone at 350, found a nice little bounce off that. You can see where we consolidated a bit at 355, but we've had a nice pop and we've got a V-shaped reversal pattern. All I'm looking for here is good follow through as we head into next week. Okay, so I'm looking for a nice little breakout to the upside here, and I'm looking for good follow through. Do so. Let me just go over to that just to answer a few questions I'm getting on that, and I often get these questions. So what I direct you to, if you just go across to www.theprivatetradersclub.com, you'll be brought up with exactly the same page which I'm showing at the moment, and this will just go over more details of how you can gain access to our trade setups throughout the week, our trade alerts. Essentially, as a member of the Private Traders Club, you get access to all our live trade setups throughout the week. So the exact entry, the exit, and also the stop losses on those trades, those alerts all get sent out to our traders real time, and also once the trade is triggered, that gets sent out, and there's trade management of those trades throughout the day as well. So anything that we're doing in terms of trading our stop losses, opening up the take profit, any additional tips for managing that trade are updated throughout the day and throughout the week as well. So absolutely, yes, you can get access to those on the precious metals, the energies, the agricultural markets, essentially all of the trades that we are taking. You can see those, and it can really save you a lot of time for the market. So a lot of the time you might be just looking at the markets waiting for a move. If you've just had an email alert come through and you know exactly what you're waiting for, you set up your entry, your exit, everything on a pending order. You don't need to be sitting in front of the screens all day, and you know you're not going to miss out on a profitable trade, because we are in front of the screens all day making sure that any additional trade setups are posted out there for everybody. So yes is the answer. You can definitely get access to that. You can also get the week ahead trading plan. So every weekend we provide a very thorough trading plan for the week ahead. All the key fundamental announcements, which come the news announcements for the following week, the management of all our open positions. We look at the higher time frames down to the tighter time frames of any additional trades that we're looking to take in the week ahead, any major news announcements which will affect the markets, which will give us a bit more edge in the markets, go through seasonality plays as well for the week ahead. So it's just half an hour for you to watch at the weekend and really preps you very nicely for the week ahead. So again, a lot of our traders love that, especially if you're short on time. You just want to have a nice quick summary at the weekend, know that you're in the right trades, know that you're watching the right markets for the week ahead. Really saves you a lot of time. And of course, you have access to join our live trading rooms throughout the week as well. These are also recorded, so you can actually go back and rewatch these if you don't get a chance to actually be there for our live trading room live. You can also rewatch the recording afterwards, and on those live trading rooms we go through all the indicators we're utilizing, go through our strategies in more detail, the exact, again, the entry, the exit, the take profit of our trades, the management of our trades, any key setups that we're looking at for that day, and also the week ahead there as well. So you've got access to all of that. And if you really want to take your trading to the next level and you want to go through all the theory as well, you want to actually understand and get to know how to trade our strategies, the exact indicators that we use, set up your charts exactly like we have at the Gold and Silver Club with all the indicators, all the same settings. If you want to have access to everything that we trade, the Gold and Silver Club, from news trading to swing trading, how to manage your trades, how to put on trades, particularly if you might be new to the market and you just want to understand how to set up all of your charts, how to place your trades, how to put the indicators, how to get a good edge in the market, to get really high probability trades. You've also got access to the Master the Markets trading course. That's module by module, step by step, an online trading course where you can go through every module in chronological order in your own time to really learn how to successfully trade the commodity market. So all of that is available to you as a member of the Private Traders Club, and of course you'll also get VIP email support lines. So you get all of your questions answered, whether those are on the trading course, technical setups, any market related queries, those are all answered for you. So it's just a case of scrolling to the bottom of the privatetradersclub.com. So it's just www.theprivatetradersclub.com. Go to the bottom there, ready to get started, enroll here now, and once you've clicked on that form, you will just very simply have a few fields to fill out here. Make sure all of those fields are filled out. Press apply now, and then we'll get back in touch with you ASAP to go through that and how you can gain access to the privatetradersclub.com. Okay, fantastic. So I get a lot of questions on that. I'll do a bit of a recap on that towards the end, but just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. So a lot of the trades that we're talking about today, the top trades, the current trades that we're looking to take, those are available. The exact exit, entry, take profit prices, we provide those all at the Gold and Silver Club. Now, if we just move over to sugar, there's a couple of points to note on this. First of all, if you have a look at sugar on the weekly chart, you can see this rounding formation. We came up to key resistance at 1550. We've not really been able to penetrate that level. We've had overhead trend line. You've also had an overhead resistance zone as well. So you can see this rounding formation. I'm looking for a selling opportunity here off the upper end of this trend channel. You can see so far we've had a nice little rejection candle just on Friday. I want to see whether that will be confirmed and whether we just get a move back towards the lower end of the trend channel. I would also be looking for that to correspond on the higher time frame. So on the weekly chart here, if we break below this neckline, which is sitting around 1385, break below that, then we've got the scope. This is just moving between its trend channels. We've got the scope here to break back down towards the lower end of this zone. So definitely, sugar, have that on your radar. On the daily chart there as well, if we get a break below this rejection candle from the upper end of this zone, sugar could really start to pick up momentum to the downside as well. So I would also definitely just have that on your radar too. And then we'll just move it over finally to cocoa here as well. Cocoa has had quite a bearish week, or bearish start to 2016 so far. We have come back to a little bit of consolidation just around 2899. You can see where it is finding a little bit of support around this level of support, just going back to April 2015 as well. We'll continue to monitor that. I want to see whether we will get some support and possibly some buyers come in at this level, or whether we will break through last week's lows and open up the gates to really the next major zone of support, which is sitting around 2672. So that is one to have on the radar as well if we break and close below major support. So just in summary, the major trade opportunities which are worth keeping an eye on throughout today and throughout this week, definitely gold. Gold's in a bit of indecision mode at the moment, but ultimately on the higher time frames it is basing, it's forming a nice little base here at the moment. I'd like to see follow through, break above last week's highs, and then get a run up to the 100 MA, and then at that zone, if it can break above that zone, that would be quite a strong indicator for higher prices as we progress into January. Also, of course, keep an eye on Brent and WTI crude oil. Essentially, we're looking to sell into rallies here at the moment on oil, particularly on the daily chart here. So any big retracements here back towards the upper end of these daily trend channels. I'll just move that over and show you on WTI crude oil on the daily chart. Any retracements back up, you've got two trend channels, an overhead, a larger overhead trend channel, and also a shallower trend channel. Any retracements back up to that zone, we're looking for rejection candles and opportunities to sell into rallies here on oil at the moment. So do keep an eye on oil for those opportunities. And I also really would suggest keep an eye on the grains as well, particularly corn and wheat. So corn is basing, nice opportunity for a breakout on the higher time frames, and wheat, we've also, if we hold the lower end of its trend channel here, we've got the opportunity for a good little rally as well above the 473 zone, to keep an eye on those as well. So essentially the top markets to keep an eye on, I would suggest over the course of today and this week, would be gold, oil, and corn and wheat are giving some of the best price structures right now, okay? Fantastic. So as I mentioned earlier, for everybody who would really like to gain access to our daily trade setups, our commodity analysis throughout the week as well via our live trading rooms, you can do so just by going to www.theprivatetradersclub.com. So again, you get access to all of our live trade setups, as well as the email alerts for those trade setups once the trade gets triggered, or the entry, exit, take profit levels. You get access to our live trading rooms throughout the week, Master Markets training course, our week ahead trading plan every single weekend, and also you get access to the VIP email support line as well. So again, if you are ready to take your trading to the next level, the Private Traders Club, you can just go across to our website there, www.theprivatetradersclub.com. Membership is by application only, and once you've completed the enrollment form, we'll get in touch with you ASAP. Okay, fantastic. So if there's been any additional questions, we'll certainly take those now, and of course I really look forward to working with those of you who will be joining us at the Private Traders Club.